Hello and welcome back to Botea Crypto Academy. Today we'll be looking at Forex. You may be wondering why a crypto channel is looking into Forex. Well, the simple answer is that cryptocurrency is bought in other currencies. So today I have a contrarian view that actually I believe that the euro is going to gain strength to the dollar in the long term and even in the near term. Contrary to beliefs, many people think the dollar will continue to go up. However, just looking at the chart, we can see that since the year 2000, the euro has consistently been making higher lows. And if we slap on a few more drawings, I'm going to show you just a very simple trend line that you can see that on the monthly we have been closing higher and higher. And over here we can see that the top was in the financial crisis. And ever since we've had this long resistance line over here. Now I'm going over to my tools just to pull up a Fibonacci retracement tool. From the top to the bottom close. And we can see that we've retraced about 38% of the move, which is a typical retracement. For stronger bull markets, the retracement comes around here at the 6.1. And then for a medium strength bull market, it's in the 50 range. And here we're now at the lower band, and we've held it since 2015. And if we zoom in, we can see that every time we've come to this lower bound, basically if we break this would now be considered a bear market, and a break of this longer term structure over here dating back all the way to 1997. However, this is not what my indicators are showing me. Currently, this looks very similar to the gold chart, where we're squeezing up and we've been squeezing up and the volatility has been decreasing, which could lead to either an expansion or a breakdown. But in short, what I believe is buying right now would be a great risk to reward, because you could have your stop pretty close to the invalidation point. So if I'm right, buying in this region, this is a monthly time frame, by the way. So this is the very long-term chart where I believe that in the next few months to years, we'll slowly see the euro gaining ground on the dollar. Now I could zoom in to the weekly chart and show you in greater detail what's been happening. So over here in the bottom you can see a typical RSI, and I've modified it for my own personal settings, where I have back tested every single time the RSI has reached certain levels for this asset. And over here, this orange dotted line, you can see over here, every time we cross it, as you can see all the way back here in 2020, we tested, we bounce, we tested, we bounce. We've been testing it for since the dawn of time, you could say, this level. We test it, we bounce, we test it, we bounce, we break a little bit under, and all of these have been great buying opportunities. And what do you know? In the last 3 weeks, we've undercut it, and we're now above it. Now, to validate this, we would have to close at more or less this price range this coming week, or the following week. However, I do believe this RSI signal combined with the stochastic in this green zone, this is my buy zone, and anything below this is combined with this is usually a good buy zone. And if I zoom in, you could see that if you had taken this signal over here, you would have had a 2.6% move before it told you sell once again. However, what's backing up my theory of the long-term case for the euro versus the dollar, which is actually quite contrary to most people's beliefs, is that we're getting the signal on a monthly chart. And I put more weight on a longer-term chart because it gives a signal that the long term looks strong. And here we can see that both the stochastic is very flat, meaning it's really bottomed out. We have the RSI touching one of my bounce zones, where at the very least I expect to see a little bit of a retracement back to this moving average over here. Let me zoom in so you can see. At the very least, in the coming days, I would expect a bounce within this region coming to meet this moving average. And if we close above it, that would be the signal that the move is fully on. However, my trading style involves being early. I prefer the risk reward right now, where I would personally be buying long the euro versus the dollar, while everyone else is still afraid, and I have my stop relatively tight because two things. If I'm wrong and I'm seeing here's a long-term trend line that is, again, I remind you, is dating back, sorry for that, this long-term trend line since the November of 2000. Now you think about that, that's over 22 years of this trend line supporting this price action. So there's that going for it. I have my buy signal here. I also have my buy signal on the stochastic, and I have volatility increasing, meaning the speed at which that the move will be relatively quick. So I would think this is actually a great risk to reward, where you even have your stop just below this wick. Maybe you have it a little bit below. You could have it below this blue line over here, this retracement line, because it could easily just wick down and then break out, which would be a shame. So I would have my stop somewhere within this region, just a little bit off, so that, and you're gonna lose a lot less money being close in validation and being close over here and getting the signal over here. So that's a long-term bull case for the euro versus the dollar. Going back to the weekly chart, as you can see, same things happening over here. You'll get confirmation, I think, on Sunday whether this turns up again and then it gives a cross. And then I would like to see this closing above this level and this moving average to get confirmation. But then I would expect a move more or less, firstly getting a bit of resistance around this range here at the 1.14 cents, and then but I would expect it to move a lot higher before a pullback. And then going into the daily time frame, we can see that we've already had the signal for the last few days here. We've already come off the bottom of the stochastic RSI. We're here getting the same signal. We came into the green range, which is usually a very high probability buy zone for me over here. And we've also crossed the orange zone. We've successfully broken through, retested the RSI, and gone off to the races. And what normally happens is that price might actually be lagging the indicators, but here we can see we've done something similar. And once we break past this other support line over here, I expect things to move really quickly. So that's my long-term analysis, long-term and short-term analysis of the euro versus the dollar. I'm actually bullish, and I think the next few months are going to surprise a lot of people. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like more. I'll do more analysis videos in the future. Thank you.